Vice President Kamala Harris decided to skip out on the Al Smith dinner last night and instead sent in a pre-recorded skit that gave Donald Trump the floor to deliver some hilarious one-liners. And Kamala Harris wasn't the only Democrat that got roasted.
Chuck Schumer is here looking very glum. Doesn't he look glum? He looks glum. But look on the bright side, Chuck, considering how woke your party has become. If Kamala loses, you still have a chance to become the first woman president. I don't think Kamala has given up yet. She hasn't. Instead of attending tonight, she's in Michigan receiving communion from Gretchen Whitmer. Unfortunately, Governor Walz isn't here himself, but don't worry, he'll say that he was. He's going to say he was. Mayor Adams, good luck with everything. They went after you. They went after you, Mayor. Yeah, boy, I knew that. 9.5 months ago, I said, you know, he just said something about the administration. He's going to be indicted any moment.
Joe Concha, a Fox News contributor, joins us now. Joe, your overall thoughts on the night?
Wow. Look, that's the king of all roasters right there. I mean, all respect to Don Rickles. This is Donald Trump's arena right here. I was at the Al Smith dinner 8 years ago when Hillary Clinton was there and Donald Trump was there. And I got to say, he was hilarious then. He was even better last night. This guy is painted, Todd, Carly, as the next Hitler. He's angry. He's extremist. He's going to destroy democracy. And then you see whatever version we saw of Donald Trump last night, which is actually Donald Trump, right? A guy that once ruled the airwaves with The Apprentice and obviously won the presidency in 2016 when no one thought he had a shot. That Donald Trump we saw last night was majestic. And I don't use that word very often. And the reason why he owned the evening, he's owning the news cycle right now, is because Kamala Harris's handlers thought it was a really great idea for her not to go to that dinner. That has not happened since 1984. We're talking 40 years ago, and that was Walter Mondale, Democrat, who won exactly one state out of 50 in that race. So a big error by Kamala Harris. She joined by video, which looked horrible. And Donald Trump, again, owned the evening. He was hilarious, and he got a standing ovation in Manhattan by the elites in New York. What does that tell us, Carly?
Yeah, no, it's so true. And I mentioned before that Brian was at the event. I think he goes every year. And he said that Donald Trump's speech was good. He said Jim Gaffigan was fantastic. It was star-studded. There were NFL owners, Woody Johnson, Robert Kraft, John Mara. Roger Goodell was also there. He said that Kamala Harris's taped speech did bomb, that it just was not well received, and the fact that she wasn't there wasn't well received either. Here's a little bit more of that pre-recorded skit. Watch this.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, what's going on? Who was that?
Oh, sorry, Mary Catherine Elliott. Mary Catherine Elliott. It's so nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you, Mary Catherine. Right now I'm trying to record my speech for tonight's dinner.
Oh, yeah, I know. I just want to say that I'm Catholic, and tonight is one of the biggest dinners next to the Last Supper.
So, you know, what a missed opportunity for Kamala Harris to just have some fun. There were both Democrats and Republicans and nonpartisan people in the room. And like you said, her campaign, and she chose not to. She blamed it on wanting to campaign in a battleground state. However, a lot of members of the media are doing the work for her today. This will come as no surprise. Here are some of the headlines. The Washington Post writes, quote, Trump delivers profanity below the belt digs at Catholic charity banquet. The Daily Beast says Trump spews profanity and bizarre insults at Catholic charity dinner. And the AP summed up the night this way: Trump delivers a pointed and at times bitter speech at the Al Smith charity dinner. So some Republicans are saying it was disrespectful for Kamala Harris not to be there last night. The media is saying that Donald Trump was disrespectful for attending the Catholic charity dinner and also delivering jokes, which was the stated purpose of the night.
Yeah, Carly, the Washington Post, for example, you brought up that one headline. They have never endorsed a Republican candidate in their history. Think about that for a moment. For all the Democratic candidates that we have had over the years, they have endorsed them every time. So who cares what the Washington Post says? Who cares what the Daily Beast says? That is a dumpster fire for Democratic propaganda. So when they say these things, you think anybody's listening outside of their core readership, which are basically people are going to vote for Kamala Harris no matter what. They're telling them what they want to hear. The bottom line is that Trump was actually very, very good last night. Kamala Harris not showing up by doing that by video was just so, I don't know who says to her as a handler, you know what, we got this huge event that every Democratic candidate has gone to since 1984, but you shouldn't go. And oh, by the way, they raised millions of dollars for those who are struggling right now. But because we fear you being outside of a teleprompter, probably you shouldn't go to this event because you laugh at all your jokes whenever you are outside of a teleprompter. Everybody thinks it's weird and it's awkward, so you're going to stay home. This is Donald Trump's race to lose right now, guys. No question about it. He leads in every swing state in the Real Clear Politics average right now. Nate Silver's forecast has him winning this race right now.
Yeah.
Bad job, Kamala Harris team. No question.
It's also, but why do a callback to something from 1995?
There were probably a lot of young people like, wait, what's
Catherine
that?
Gallagher had, they don't know, and a lot of the older people in the audience had no idea what was happening either. Missed opportunity, like you and Carly said. Joe Concha, have a great weekend.
Joe.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.